Hey, gamers, trainers, Pokemon, welcome to another episode of Pokemon's Health, Pokemon Meets Men's Health. I'm your host, Roy Flash Gordon, here with our guest today, Ali Yarin. Ali Yarin, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today. It's an honor. When you asked me if I wanted to be in an episode, I was a little nervous because I'm a little bit camera shy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a great opportunity to talk about this.
Of course, dude. I really appreciate you hopping on, and I know you're doing some cool stuff with your biz and whatnot, and just had to have you on. Figured we'd have a fun conversation. All that said, make sure you guys are clicking that subscribe button, that like button, and sharing it with someone who is important to you. If you're enjoying the content and you think it may help them out, we'll go ahead hop into this conversation. Aliharan, why don't you tell the folks a bit about yourself? How old are you? What do you do for a living, and where are you from?
Well, I'm from Puerto Rico. I was born here as well. I'm 29 years old, and currently I'm doing my PhD on industrial psychology, industrial organizational psychology. Basically, it's like work psychology. Like I try my best to make your workspace safe and healthy for you. Um, so yeah, I usually study how to promote better labor on the employees and stuff like that. So it's very curious that during this process of me doing my research, because right now I'm doing my dissertation. So it's very interesting that I picked this topic as my research proposal. So yeah, basically, I don't know if people have noticed, esport has become kind of like a business.
Yeah.
Like they have the gamers who are the employees that they present skills. They are very focused to certain tasks. Uh, you also have the managers that create the team and promote the team as well around the places that you guys play. Also, the stakeholders and or sponsors in this case, like if you're starting from the ground up, it's basically gamer, then team, then manager, and so on, the sponsor and stuff like that. So you're like already seeing like a uh how do you say this in
Your
English? Because
hierarchy.
English is not my first language.
Hierarchy?
Yes. So you're understanding, like basically you're seeing already a hierarchy of work
Yeah.
where basically the engine of of the business is the gamer because he's getting exposed, he's giving his all, his skills and everything else to to just win every match possible to create, representation of I don't know, maybe like his team or certain um marketing thing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But basically that's the interesting of things. And I've read some articles about how very important is to create environments for this gamers to get better at the game. Because
Hmm.
I understand that since it's not a structured organization, it has some areas that we can fix or tweak to
Hmm.
get it better. Like for example, let's involve legal actions. Like let's have a contract. Like it involves that me get paid a certain time when I play at this tournament. You're gonna promote me. You're gonna provide me with the food during the tournament, stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know, like
Totally.
like like a basic job, but and see, do you see now that
Yeah,
it's
dude.
yeah. So where was I? Yeah, so basically I was doing some research and I found out about that issue. So I decided to start studying how to promote a better organizational structure for esports.
Yeah. Dope, dope, dope. I think it's an important task, dude. Important job. It's a cool thing about video games, cool thing about technology. We got all the pitfalls of the stuff, but there's a lot of cool parts of the stuff. And esports, I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon. It makes sense that it would be kind
No.
of growing in a way that, there
Yes.
are spaces for someone like you to come in and help improve the life of the gamers. And I think esports, I think gaming for us as individuals is very important. Is how we can kind of escape from the hard parts of the world and even engage with our creativity, engage with our competitive mindsets. If you're doing competitive Pokemon, like we tend to enjoy as well, but also like the sports aspect of it, like really helping people. One, it's entertaining, sure, but there's also a lot of people inspired to, even start their paths, down their competitive journey because of what they see in esports. So I think it's really games are important in general just to support us in this thing called life. And I think however we can support the people who are doing it at a high level, especially these
Yeah,
guys have a dream that they're getting to experience, and you get to actually make it a dream. Like you're not only making some money
yes,
from this,
exactly.
but you don't have to spend the money on the food, because they're treating you how
Exactly. Like
they should treat you.
tuition for the tournament as well,
Yeah.
for example. Yeah.
Oh yes, yes,
So
absolutely.
that's Yeah.
Registration, all
So
that stuff.
that's the academic part. That's the academic part I'm doing. The other part is my business. What I'm doing is like, since I have a license in coaching, like how can I explain coaching? It's like a process where I let you create a space of comfort where you can like reflect on a situation or a goal or an idea that you want to like try to like, work on it to like get better.
Mm-hmm.
So I during those spaces, I create like this semi-structured dialogue involving a model. Like it's a growth model. John Wickmore is the name. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, with that model, I kind of like guide you to with questions to like get you to from point A from to point B.
Yeah.
So what's that important? So the important part of that is that I'm combining that with my almost PhD. I can't call myself a
Yeah.
psychologist yet until like I get my license, of course.
Almost there.
Uh, um, so so basically like I'm combining that with me understanding how work functions, especially like the skills that people need to like perform on a task in particular. So um, fast forward, the reason why I created this idea and it's actually working because like a lot of gamers need mental health support. Like most of
Mhm.
them have never even scratched the idea of mental health and they don't know how impactful that is to their performance. I'm
Yes,
gonna give you an
absolutely.
example. So when I was starting my VGC journey,
Hmm.
there was this at the start of the tournaments, like I was getting very anxious, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, it's just a game. Why am I getting anxious?
Mm.
So in one moment of the game, I was like filled with many options
Yeah.
to like to do like fast forward during the turns, and I just froze.
Hmm.
That's not a game mechanic. That's a mental mechanic.
Yeah.
So like
Totally.
you need to like people don't understand. So basically, Pokemon is a mental battle because besides the information you need to manage during the battle, you also need to understand the psychology of the opponent. If he's aggressive, if he's more passive, if you can bluff, does he take bluffs?
Hmm.
You also
What
need to
happens
control
when?
yourself because, for example, crits happen. So you need to like chill, don't get into tilt, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
So all of that, like people don't understand those are psychology components in during the game. And most of the gamers that I've, like helped during their journey, most of them don't realize how impactful their way of, for example, thinking or talking to themselves affect their performance.
Yeah.
I've had trainers that have like, I'm not good at this. Why are you calling yourself like that? Why are you talking to yourself like that? Don't create questions that will limit your options. Like create more options that expand. Like for example, this win doesn't matter. I'm just improving every time. Like you're
Yeah.
creating a change in the dialogue. You're not impacting negative like the self. So
No, dude, it's extremely important work. I love the reflection on how mental of a game Pokemon is, right? Like one of my favorite things to do. Like, and this is when it's like, oh my God, like I'm in the driver's seat, I'm in control, and I can tell that my opponent is on their back foot. They might be about to spin out a little bit.
You're
Like,
creating
how do I?
psychological pressure, basically.
Yes, absolutely. And
You're
it's
feeding the pressure in the game.
yes. And it's like, that moment where when you're in control and you're like, oh, I'm so in control, I've limited their options. Now I know that I did this three times, this a play a tendency that would show that I played this way three times, and now this is the one where I change up on them, or like this is the one where like I'm
Yeah.
so in the driver's seat I can do whatever I want, like that getting that psychological advantage, or even being able to like read your opponent. And we have the literal reads where it's like honestly a lot of the times they're a guess, an educated guess, but being able
Yeah.
to read the person in front of you, how do they handle this situation, this maybe pressure filled situation in front of you, and how can you act upon it. It's very cool. It's very cool part of the game, but also your
Yeah, and
ability.
Pokemon is such a volatile game. Like Pokemon is such a volatile game.
Mm,
Anything could happen. You can actually lose a match in just one turn. That's it,
totally,
basically.
totally, absolutely.
So yeah, basically I've helped people try to like be nicer to themselves during the battle, especially those like for example that I get it. Like most of us are overachievers. I am an overachiever, of course. I love like achieving stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when you have that drive, but you don't have the positive thought in your head, it doesn't coordinate correctly. And when the overachiever is like criticizing you for making a move that you're not supposed to do, like this talking is like creating your like blockage during the game,
Hmm.
a lot of things.
Totally, man. This is all really important stuff for guys to hear and think about. So I appreciate you for what you do, and for kind of sharing all that context. Before we get too far, because I do want to ask you, of course, about some of your own interactions with masculinity and mental health. But before we get a little bit further into that, can you tell us a little bit just about how you got started with Pokemon in the first place?
I love this question because for me, like I feel like I was born to play Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like I was 4 years old. Okay, so here in Puerto Rico, we had like this big satellite back in 1996 that you can watch the stars, and like usually the US used it to like explore the planets and everything like else. So I was
Yeah.
4 years old that day. I remember because like it's like I think it's my favorite childhood memory. I
Hmm.
was that day playing Monster Rancher, like with my Game Boy,
Oh
like
yeah.
the Game Boy Color.
Totally.
So I was playing with my game, and then I saw a kid playing another game. Usually, like my parents created this like groups so we can explore places on the island and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
they decided to like create a group. It's very funny because like there's even a picture of me, um, of me playing the game because like we switched the games because he wanted to play my game and I wanted to play his game.
Yeah.
And when I saw Pokemon, I was like, Pokemon, what is this? So I started to play it, to play it, to play it, to play it.
Yeah.
Like in the picture, I'm playing it so much, I'm not even paying attention. There's a picture.
Of course.
So I got so hooked, I almost took the kid's game, and my dad told me no, give him back the game. So I gave him back the game, and the next day he bought me the game,
Oh, so cool.
and since then has been like my entire life basically
Mm,
until 10 years ago that I had to like put it beside because university, creating
yeah.
a profession, getting a doctor's degree. So it's funny
Yes.
because 10 years after, my passion basically has become or could become a business.
Yeah, dude. It's super dope. It's super dope. And I love to
It's
see,
wild. It's
yeah.
wild.
You should be proud of yourself, man, and super proud of yourself for being able to see like, hey, I'm learning this thing, and these don't classically go together, but they can. That's sort of like what the podcast is like for me. Like a fulfillment of that inner child's dream to get some more Pokemon in the life, for sure.
Exactly. Me too. Like that little kid just saw the scoreboard and said, you can become a professional at this. I was like, oh, I can. And it's
Yeah.
funny because going a little bit personal, the reason I kind of like decided because I'm going pro at this game. First, I'm trying my best to like help as many people possible with mental health, but at the
Yep.
same time, I'm trying to play the game.
Yep.
So, the reason why this idea came up was because I got tired of cleaning the women's bathroom at 3 a.m. on a Planet Fitness.
Oh yeah, you
It
mentioned that.
was like it was a horrible experience. I was like, you know what? I've worked so hard. I've studied so much just to like I have to have a manager that is micromanaging and it's like going overboard on where he stands when it comes to like manager employee because I know
Hmm.
this stuff. Like he doesn't understand that I know this stuff and you should
Yeah.
not be doing those stuffs. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna follow my dream. I'm gonna become a Pokemon
Yeah.
trainer. Because the fun fact is that at third in my third grade, they assigned me a drawing of what do you want to be when you grow up. And people started laughing when I showed mine because I just wanted to be a Pokemon trainer.
No, bro. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I had a moment in like first
And
grade or
it's funny
something
because yeah,
where they were like, come in dressed as one of your heroes. And they meant it like in that way, like a real job that you would
really?
be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
What did you put on?
this is before Pokemon was a thing. I came up dressed as a Power Ranger.
Okay.
And I just like it's just like, oh, so I can just completely miss the
But wait,
message.
what color? What color though?
The
What
Black
color?
Ranger.
Green by
Black
any
Ranger.
chance?
Black Ranger.
The
Though I
black.
would have loved the Green Ranger costume too. It would have been very cool. But it's just one of those
Yeah,
moments though,
that
right?
they were amazing. The first Power Rangers were everything.
Super dope. Super dope. So we'll kind of transition a little bit. Not too different of a topic, the masculinity topic. And I'll simply ask you today, what has it been like for you to just be a man in this world?
So I want to be more a little bit more vulnerable because like I know my story. Other people share it.
Yeah.
I'm Latino. My background is Latino. I'm from Puerto Rico. Like it's
Mhm.
a Spanish speaking country. And when it comes to manhood, like we see this man like a uh macho peludo, like big and strong, hairy, like
Yeah.
he can like eat meat, train, like he's in command of the house. So that's the
Yeah.
traditional Latin American family structure. And
Hmm.
um we wish it wasn't like that, but it is what it
Yeah.
is. So growing up, I was different. So it was very hard for me to express myself
Hmm.
because like it was a taboo back in the day. Like, today is more liberal to be like saying, "Hey, I'm gay," or "Hey, I'm pansexual." I mean, I'm more into like this person or more into this person, and
Yeah.
everything's cool. But back then, it was very stressful to like have that situation in your household because, for example, Puerto Rico, we're very religious.
Yeah.
So religion, sexual orientation, sometimes it doesn't mix.
Yeah.
So yeah, the issue with manhood has really impacted me because sometimes I'm too gay for straight, but also too femme for straight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I hear you.
So I've like created my own version of manhood, and for me, it's just determined to follow your dreams, regardless of what people say,
Mm.
because you have just one life. So
Oh yeah.
better make the best of it.
Mm. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I think that's
Yeah.
that's my wish for everyone, every man, like that we don't have to be fit into any sort of box, but that we can just see all of life and be like, well, this is
Yeah.
how I want to be. This is who I want to be. This is
Yeah.
how I feel like myself. And that
Hmm.
be something that we say, I'm a man still.
Exactly. I mean, and you can create your own version of manhood. It doesn't have to be like that toxic masculinity image that we get to have on social media. Like a man doesn't have to be like that. A man can be anything possible as long as they're really living their life in a righteous path and always trying to do good in the world.
Yes, beautiful. I love that, Alharan. And you made it, you've already kind of answered this question, but I'll ask it again just in case there's any like any turning point that was helpful to you, because I know there's probably a lot of guys out there that have had a similar experience. But what was
Yeah.
it like for you to sound so the I'll just say the question is, were there times where you did not feel like you were living up to a certain standard of manhood, and what was that like for you? So
Oh, my
kind of
entire
answered
life,
that.
bro. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, my entire life, because like being from the community is like, like people like see you as a certain way, and when, for example, I'm not acting in a certain way, they're like, "Huh, I did not notice that you were like that." I was like, and usually I'm like, since I'm a bit sarcastic sometimes, I said like, "Gee, let me do this then." But yeah, like in today's world, like the roles have been so diverse and so interconnected. Like a man can provide in the house and take care of the kids. A woman can work like a man before.
Yes,
Like anything is possible. Like I sometimes I don't understand the issue with the pronouns and everything like that. Because
totally.
if people are telling you, please call me this way, I don't see the issue. It's like a
People
name. Like I want you
totally.
to call me by my name. That's it.
Mm. I man, if people just like you just see it that simply, folks, like this is it's just the word, the pronoun is just a replacement for the name. Call me by my damn name. That's so simple. It's so simple. And like if
Awesome.
you were to if people were to remove all their stupid stuff they have about sexuality, all their stupid judgments about that, if they can remove that and just simplify it as like how would you feel if someone was calling you something that was not your name you didn't want to be called? And maybe we could get like access empathy more easily that way, you know.
Yeah.
um yeah, it's so simple, man. And I know it's clearly people, it's not that simple for people because you've had to, kind of endure some challenges. I know you've had to endure some challenges with that, and I'm
Yeah.
that
And
you've
here in
done.
Latin America,
Yeah.
yeah, here in Latin America, they have like the distinguished slurs. I'm not gonna say them, but yeah, I usually
Please
like grew
don't.
up with those slurs.
Yeah.
So I was like you're calling me that, but I don't know what that is until like I reached a certain point of my age. I was like, oh wait, I am that. So
Yeah.
yeah, like some people sometimes set their boundaries, and you just need to like put some limits and say, hey, here you go. This is me. Stay out of it.
Absolutely. Super
Respectfully,
dope.
of course.
Of course, of course. Alaharan, could you share maybe with us about any mental health challenges that you may have overcome or some that you live with and how you manage those?
So for my people out there with ADHD, it's really hard to play this game because you have so much information management that you have to do during every match, and you have to reset your mind every match because every match is different. Even though like you understand the roles of the Pokemon, you understand what the moves are or the types that are super effective against which Pokemon. Yeah, there's a lot of information. I think they reduce the tournaments to like 8 rounds. I think first day and
Mm-hmm.
second day 6 rounds, and then the top.
Yep.
So yeah, it's like a lot of mental management that is going through every single match. And for us who are like gifted with this beautiful curse sometimes,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the environment is very stimulating. The music is stimulating. You're anxious. Like we have so many stimuli that we can manage so much at the same time. So
Mhm.
that's been an issue for me. And the way I've tried to like be better at, like feeling more concentrated in every match is like doing like a pre-ritual awareness that, okay, I did this, I got wrong, that's okay, I was experimenting, let's do this. Like don't experiment in tournaments, like go ahead and go for the
Yeah,
win. But
totally.
like when you're experimenting, like don't take it so seriously. You're just breathing and like releasing any negative or stress that you feel during the run. Because like that's again, like I said before, you talking bad to yourself is not gonna help you during your tournament run. Eventually you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna tell yourself, see, I told you you failed. And we don't want that. We want you to like, I failed, but that's okay. Look, today I went farther than before.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So you mentioned dealing with ADHD and some nice helpful like reframes for anyone who's dealing with ADHD and it may be distracted to their game. I was joking about this on a recent episode. So many of us, I believe that I'm undiagnosed ADHD, and one of my guests, I think on what will be two episodes from when this one is airing, that we were joking that so many of our friends who play Pokemon have ADHD. So I do definitely think there's something very attractive about this game, and a
I
lot of
mean,
them play it super well because they're
yeah.
ADHD. But there's things they have to deal with too at the same time.
I'm gonna say just this. I said that it was a beautiful curse because when we lock in, and
Yeah,
there's no
yeah,
stopping us.
yes,
Literally, it's not. There's no stopping us. We're like everything is on the table.
yeah.
Like I've had matches that I've locked in so hard that people tell me that you won, and I was like, oh wait, I won.
Wait, the game's over?
Yeah. Oh, I still have a Pokemon on the back. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
totally. Bro, let me tell you, if there's something about like again, I'm undiagnosed and I'm starting to stop saying it because I'm just gonna be like, I have it. I know I have it. There's so many times where
I
I'm like,
mean, you can
oh,
always like, okay, you're this person and this
yeah,
is the condition. You are
totally.
not the condition. You're just a
Absolutely.
person with this condition. That's it. If
Definitely,
you want to
definitely.
feel identified with it to help you manage it, that's perfect. If you like
Yeah.
dislike like identifying yourself with the condition, that's okay. It's a separate thing from you.
Yeah. I think my challenge was like how I keep hedging. So I'm like, oh, I think I have ADHD, but it's not diagnosed, so I don't have to take it like more seriously. You know what I mean? And I'm not because of that, it's the undiagnosed part. It's like that I need someone to tell me, though I see the people around me, like I've seen it so much, like I know what it looks like. And it's like, bro,
Yeah.
you probably just haven't, and it's okay. So now you can just start to think about what's going to make life a little easier for you if you can, if that's possible, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Actually, fun fact
yeah,
in psychology, the sooner you get diagnosed, the better because it gets worse by age if you don't. For example, if it's too severe, you need medication, and that's okay. That's another topic that we can talk about.
yeah,
But medication could be important in some ways. Maybe you need to change your diet, for example,
yeah.
like drink more omega 3s and eat more vitamin D, for example. Like it all depends,
Mm,
but you need to like have that diagnosis or at least a presumption that you have it to like
yeah.
start creating those habits that you can help you during as you age. Because yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'll hop right on top of that. I'm finally going to read about it. And I can just say it now. I'm thinking about one of the Patreon things I'd love
information
to
is
do.
power.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Information is power.
and I think like on the Patreon, bring that back out and just like do my little like not book review, but like chapter by chapter, just like takeaways. And I think that could be cool for anyone who's interested in that. Look out for that on the Patreon because I'm really excited about what's the book that I'm going to check out. I think ADHD 2.0 is the one I was thinking about checking out next. So lots to learn. But I was going to say one of the funny ADHD things that happens to me, like intensive wise, is when I'm like I like realizing that I have a Pokemon in the back, or like I killed three of their mon. I'm like, yes, that's it. And then they come out with their heavy hitters still in the back, and I'm like, oh, I forgot that they had another mon again, even though
That
the
is
indicator's
completely
right there,
fair.
right?
That is completely fair because I feel that was me. Like I felt like you were talking about me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally right.
You're
It
into the
happens.
game and then they bring the last Pokemon. You're like, oh, they had a last Pokemon. Okay, let's toughen it up again.
Oh, so it's not over till it's over. Oh, that's beautiful, dude. Last couple questions for you. First, like, and I'm excited to hear what you say about this. What about Pokemon has made you happy?
Battling. I love it.
Battling.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, so I feel like every Pokemon battle is like a puzzle, and you need to find that key point to like complete the puzzle. So
Yes.
every time I'm playing, I'm like trying to like Yugimoto with the Millennium puzzle, like trying to put the
Yes.
pieces so like I get my win condition correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just love when opponents throw me so many how do you say this? So many obstacles for me to like understand the field and like, wow, what am I gonna do now? And when you do the thing that is supposed to like help you win, like that win feels so great.
Totally. Totally. Feel that, man. Winning feels good. Winning is just a great feeling. I love because I've not done anything competitive like for real in a few years now. And Pokemon scratches that same itch, you know. It definitely gives you opportunity to like, I want to go mind versus mind and just see who comes out on
Yes.
top. It's good times.
Yes. Actually, the irony of it is that this game, if you feel like you have like this type of anxiety disorder that I have, for example,
Hmm.
this game actually helps you understand why you're reacting the ways you are during the battle. So
Ooh.
like that's a key point for you guys like to like keep exploring because yeah, like usually the process of gaming itself projects so many emotions at the same time. Like you get like you have so many parts of the brain fixated on the process of game, not just game the structure of what is a game
Yes.
that you tend to like understand basically what frustrates you, what tilts you, what makes you feel
Mhm.
impatient.
Yes.
You need to like just have like this first step of awareness to like why am I reacting like this or why does this turn make me feel like this, you know?
Yeah. Big time, dude. Big time. That's fire. Thanks for that. Yeah, I've had a couple of guests. This is a great episode because you're saying so many things that I've seen in some of my friends or even have heard guys talk about on the podcast in terms of specifically that anxiety you just mentioned that comes up and it's a great learning tool, I think, because of what you just said. It's a great learning tool. It's a great place to see that awareness. Earlier you said when you had your first tournament, you had that idea like, oh, it's just a game. Why am I reacting like this? And I think well, I thought one is like, no, it's more than a game. That's the first is like it's something important to you, so it makes sense that it would make you feel that way. But also, yeah, it's
I
also a
mean,
game.
I live
It's
for
not
this
that big.
game. I live for this game. I love this game.
Yes. But also, it's a game. It's not that big. Your life's not in danger. You're not about to have to run away from danger. But sometimes, those
Exactly.
you feel those feels. So it's definitely a tool, man. Good call.
It's definitely true. It's definitely true. Like, yeah, I love this game, and it's very interesting how you say that because, like, yeah, I guess I respect and love this game so much because it has helped me through so many obstacles in my life.
Mhm.
That I want to do good in this game. If you know what I mean. I
Yes.
want to do right for this game.
Yes.
Like, I
Totally.
want to play. I mean, perfection does not exist, but
Mhm.
I want to play optimally to like represent how much I care for this game and how much I want to improve myself in the
Oh
game.
yeah. That inspires
So
me to want to like do the same thing because it's like, okay, man.
I don't know. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
just
sorry
like
about
no,
that.
it's okay, it's okay. It's just like, okay, man, like I'm saying how much I love this game, but I go my last tour was bad and I was not playing optimally at all. But I'm just like also, but were you practicing optimally? Were you practicing, as much as you did before your last, good result? If the answer is no, it's like, well, damn, am I bringing honor to like the kind of player I want to be? Am I bringing honor to the way I say I love this game? Because those
Yeah.
guys up there who are top eighting, they really love this game because they're playing it all the damn time to be as good as they are. You know what I
Also,
mean?
they have mental fortitude.
Yes,
They have mental
absolutely,
fortitude. They
absolutely.
have developed the strength to like play this game like a professional.
Hell yeah! What a great way to say it, man. Play this game like a professional, and a lot of us out here, we can blame the RNG sometimes, but it's like at the end of the day, they got that same RNG, but they've learned how to play it
Yeah,
like a professional. They
exactly.
got their mental up, they got their routines up, and they're doing what they got to do to get there. So like I want to, like you said, like
Yeah.
play in a way that like honors that. That's dope, dude. Last
Another
question.
important thing is like, how
Yeah.
do I feel that day? Like that's another great question to like ask
Mm,
yourself, really. Like, do I feel like I are my emotions and stable for me to like perform optimally during this day? Because I know a lot of people don't sleep the night before of the tournament because they're anxious, they're excited, they want to meet their friends, they
they're
want to
going
say
out.
hi to people.
Yeah.
They have venues for like, the streamers like doing, how do you say this? Ah, like the meetups, the
Yeah, yeah,
meetups.
totally.
So like you have so much thing going on in that day that you need to like recalibrate yourself and ask yourself, how am I feeling today?
Hmm. The times that
Yeah,
I've played best, and I've said this on the podcast before, the times that I've played best, and I always get messed up because of just like what you said. I'm there with my friends. I want to hang out. I want to like, rub elbows, all the cute stuff. But the times I've played best is when I've gone off by myself in between the games and meditated at least for a few minutes. And then maybe came back with the
yeah,
guys. Or if I like meditated long after one game, maybe meditated a little shorter after the next one, and then went to spend time with the crew, like just finding that
yeah,
space. And that might not be the answer for everybody, but I know it's the answer for me. And it's something that
exactly.
I encourage people to like have your routine, stick to your routine, and like have that routine be something that's like just a check in with your emotions, managing your emotions, and I guarantee you're going to
Yeah,
play better for sure.
exactly. Definitely. Trust me, like when you like control your anxiety, when you control that idea of you're gonna fail, when you even control that idea of doubting your moves,
Mm,
that game becomes another, it becomes how do I say this? It turns into another dimension, honestly. Like
totally.
you're just vibing. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I actually feel like I'm the Pokemon trainer.
No, no, hell yeah, you are. You totally are, man. Totally, totally. That's what it is what we're doing. It's
Yeah.
I think get all the way in there, embody all of it. It can only be good, you
Exactly.
know.
Yes. Own
But
it.
all
Own the best of your abilities.
yeah,
Always.
the mon you slap together, the build you slap together, whatever. It's your mon, it's your team, those your little soldiers out there. And I think I feel like a lot of people like have their emotional attachment to their team, especially if they did work with that team. I'm like have that
Yeah.
personal attachment. Some people run with the same team all season long with like very slight changes, or like all
I
right
mean,
long with very slight changes. There's something to be attached to there, I think. That team's doing work for
if
you.
Riley can do it, anything is possible.
Totally. Hell yeah, man. That's what's up. Final question, Alan. What about Jaron, what about if you were to imagine some guy out there who is struggling, what might you say to them to help get them through that day?
Well, honestly, like it's very interesting that question because we all know that there's a silence when it comes to like manhood, and is that even if I'm struggling, I'm not gonna ask for help. Guilty sometimes, Uh, so if I was in a position that I find that one of my friends is feeling down, usually I'm there to cheer them up. I think the best thing I can do for them is, hey, let's go to the gym.
Yeah.
Simple. And maybe they will feel like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to work out. I'm like, well, you gotta move. So can we do something? And just if the person doesn't want to do anything, you can just sit there and be a good companionship at the moment. Because on it, like everyone's fighting a battle that we don't understand because it's not our life. We didn't pick that life. We picked this life with our own struggles and challenges.
Yeah.
So the best we can do in those type of situations is to ask, hey man, what can I do for you to feel better at this moment right now?
Mm,
And just go with that.
that's beautiful. Simple and sweet, just be there. And I think that is something that we all as specifically men, because as we are conditioned to not ask for help, we're not super conditioned to be all that helpful, to be all that helpful in the first place. So something like what you just said is huge. Like, guys, can we just show up for your dudes? And it's not just to like go hang out and bullshit, which is not bullshit, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go and, do what you're going
Exactly.
to
Like
do.
everyone has their own like pile of trash they need to like carry so they can throw it in the garbage bin. So
Yeah, it's totally. Can we just like, instead of just showing up for the good times, just be aware about your friends? How are they
yeah,
usually? If they don't look like that, something might be up. If you ain't heard from them for a while, something might be up. So just checking in with your
exactly.
people, and just wanting to be there. And sometimes it's as simple as, hey, what can I do to help you feel better? And a lot of people will have an answer for that. And sometimes you got to push a little further and then be like, nah, man, I mean it. Whatever it is, what can I
Yeah,
do to help you feel better? And really let them know that you're there and you're not judging them and that you're not going
exactly.
anywhere. Like, can
Exactly.
really save people.
Exactly.
That's how we save each other.
You care about them, so you're gonna stay there and help them if you can. So
Dope, bro. Dope, bro. Thank you so much for this. Tell the people where they can find you before we let on out.
honestly, thank you. Like I was not sure if I was able gonna do this because like sometimes I'm camera shy and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Also, I have ADHD, like I said before. So when people understand when I say like people that have ADHD talk a lot and we just don't know when to stop.
Yeah. I've seen it
Sometimes,
before.
especially if we're talking about something that we're passionate
Yeah.
about. So yeah, guys, you can follow me on Instagram for now. Like my
Mhm.
name is Yarin, like YARIN, I think underscore PQ I'm
PKMN. I
my
got you, bro.
English,
I'm
bro.
gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in good. I got you. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
You can
thank you,
find
thank you. I'm so
Alaharan on
sorry, guys.
Instagram.
Sorry.
You can find Alaharan on Instagram. I will make sure it's in the links in the description. And Alaharan, dude, I really appreciate you being here. I really excited to continue to
Thank you,
get to know
man.
you, brother.
You're doing an amazing job. Like we need to make this more aware, and especially in men communities that yeah, they need the support. We need the support.
We do. We do. We're gonna keep it rolling though. Thanks for being on. I'm gonna catch you soon.
Thank you, my dude.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you give it a like, subscribe, or share with someone who you think might get something from the podcast, from the message. My goal is to get this in front of every guy who could possibly need it so they can not only feel better, but do better and be better for the world.